Welcome everyone. Today's edition of Isophit Q&A is going to help a lot of you moms out there. So, Mitchell, what's my question?
I just had a baby. How can I train my lower abs on the Isophit M.S.K?
First of all, congratulations on having a baby. How do you train your lower abdominal muscles, right? And when we mean lower, we're just talking about basically below the belly button, right? So that's a problem area for a lot of people. So whether you just had a baby or not, we can sort of address that here. Now, one of the things when we're looking at the abdominals, so I'm going to back up here. So right down through here, so if you're a new mom, you've probably gone through something called diastasis recti, which is the separation of that linea alba. So it's quite important and almost imperative that we basically start to develop isometric strength throughout that structure. So we're able to start to help not only your lower abs, but help close off that sort of pulled apart linea alba. Now, one of the things that we have to look at are some of the muscles that are named in the abdominal wall. A lot of people don't know that. So let's look at them from a depth perspective. So I'm going to put this out there. Your psoas is an abdominal muscle. Now, I know that's not conventional wisdom because they go, well, it flexes your hip, but it also stabilizes the anterior surface of your spine. So basically L1 down to L4, give or take, depending on the literature you read. And then it goes to your femur. So we need to work on that first. Then we have our transverse abdominis, our internal oblique, our external oblique, our rectus abdominis, and this unbelievable muscle nobody knows the name of. It's called your pyramidalis. And it's a small little muscle that basically acts as like two little guy wires to pull down and tighten up that linea alba. Now, if you've had a C-section, that's a different conversation. Not to say that these exercises won't help, because they will. It's just going to be a little bit more of an uphill battle because you may have had some neurological damage with the sort of incision from the C-section. But what we're going to do is we're going to show you now how to train that elusive pyramidalis and some of the deep lower abdominal muscles with your M.S.K. So we're going to come over here. Now, one thing that is really important when looking at training your abdominals with resistance is where do you place that crossbar? So if I were to put that crossbar here and I'm flexing, that's going to be a huge amount of stuff on my hip flexors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this way down. So what I want to do is I want to get as close to that hip axis as possible. And I want to just basically bring my legs relatively wide, with my hands block the crossbar so I don't slide down and lift myself up, and then drive those legs into that crossbar with the goal of pulling my pubic bone closer to my belly button. So that is a great way to target those deeper muscles called your psoas, your iliacus, also getting down into that sort of first division of your rectus abdominis. Now, for your pyramidalis muscle, so we've gone from the deepest layer, now we're going to go to the most superficial. So what we want you to do, squeeze your legs together, sit up nice and tall. You're going to rotate either left or right. So I will rotate to the right just to face the camera. From here, what you want to do is get good rotation, and then you're going to pull yourself forward, and you want to think, pull yourself closer to between your knees. Now, having an obstruction is pretty imperative, because if I just did this out here, what's going to happen is these muscles on my back are going to think that I'm falling forward. So what happens is they start to create a lot of tension. As opposed to, if you have that obstruction and you pull forward, squeezing those legs together, you can really hone in and start to target down on that sort of pyramidalis muscle. So those are two different exercises that you guys can do at home to help target that lower portion, like down here portion of your abdominal wall. So I hope that helps you guys out. And once again, congratulations on the baby. Peace out.